than that, but two levels of leadership are gone.
Khomeini with Khomeini.
Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very...
That Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that.
Oh my God!
Standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it.
Oh my God, who the fuck is this guy?
Something that I was told is under investigation.
It's a ballsy question.
But Tomahawks are at a different site. They couldn't go back to where they were, the 3 sites that we obliterated. But they were starting work at another site, a different site, different kind of a site. And that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process.
In Israel right now.
While rapidly building conventional ballistic missiles, they were going to do it all at the same time. It threatened our overseas bases and soon could have reached even our homeland. The regime's intention was to use this exponentially growing ballistic missile threat to make it virtually impossible to prevent them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. So as you probably saw, they had a tremendous number of missiles, most of which are now being used or destroyed, and very unsuccessfully used because we have been able, for the most part, to shoot them all down. What incredible technology. The Patriots have been unbelievable, and other things. And the laser technology that we have now is incredible. It's coming out pretty soon. Where literally lasers will do the work of, at a lot less cost, do the work of what the Patriots are doing or what other things are doing. The situation was very quickly approaching
His heart's not in
the
it.
point of no return, and the United States found it intolerable, in my opinion, based on what Steve and Jared and Pete and others were telling me, Marco, so involved, that I thought that they were going to attack us. I thought they would, if we didn't do this at the time we did it, I think they had in mind to attack us. And if you notice, they did something which was very foolish, very stupid, I would say. They attacked their neighbors. And their neighbors were largely neutral, or at least weren't going to be involved, and they got attacked. And it had the reverse effect. The neighbors
What's going on?
came onto our side and started attacking them. And actually,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Oliver Larkin's in the building.
If you look at Saudi Arabia, you look at UAE,
he's going to be joining
Qatar,
our press conference watch.
But they were strong,
and then
they were
afterwards,
smart,
I'm
going
to hold
Nobody,
his feet
when
to
I
the
first
fire
heard it, I said,
and
no,
ask him
somebody
some
made
questions,
a mistake.
some tough questions.
There was no mistake. UAE had over 1,000 missiles.
Welcome to the
shot at it,
broadcast.
knocked them
We're
almost
listening to
all
Donald
down.
Trump talk about
On the very first day I
fantastic
came down the
operation,
escalator in 2015,
Epic
I
Fail,
said,
Operation Epstein's
quote,
Fury.
I will stop Iran from getting
and how
nuclear
wonderful
weapons.
it's been so far.
And all I'm doing
regardless
is
of what the
keeping
haters
my
and losers
promise.
are
Think of
saying.
That was in 2015. I said it. It was a threat then and a much bigger threat now, but no longer a threat, not for a long time anyway. We want to keep it that way as we continue Operation Epic Fury.
Looking
We're
good.
also
Got the DSA
focused
pin.
on keeping
Wear it everywhere.
energy
That's
and
my version
oil
of the American
flowing
flag
to
pin.
the world. And I will not allow a terrorist regime to hold the world hostage and attempt to stop the globe's oil supply. And if Iran does anything to do that, they'll get hit at a much, much harder level. I will take out those targets that were easy and that I mentioned just before. We'll take them out so quickly, they'll never be able to recover, ever.
So
if they
far,
want to
it's
play
been
that game, they better
epic
not play
victory.
that game. In the long run,
After
oil
epic
supplies
victory,
will be dramatically more secure.
a
without
lot of
the threat of
a lot of
Iranian
like
ships.
IRGC affiliated accounts and like media yesterday was saying that he would declare victory as an effort to like draw back American forces. And once I think he saw the price of the oil barrels go up to like almost $120 a barrel, he very quickly gave an interview earlier today to CBS regime media, claiming, "Oh, we're almost done. We're almost done with the war," and that actually did quickly recover the futures market a little bit. It was a total manipulation, in my opinion, especially considering that there has not been any sort of real scale back on our bombing campaigns in Iran. Israel is still continuing to deploy weapons in Iran. And Iran is still continuing to pummel Israel and also a lot of the regional allies. And
in the meantime,
the Strait of
during this
Hormuz is
brief
not open.
Disruption. The United
Lebanon's
States is
getting
offering
pummeled.
Yeah.
Civilians are being murdered in Beirut, and Israel's just using this as another excuse to not only go to war with Iran, but with all of the regional countries that it's bombed 6 countries last year. So this is just yet another excuse. And even today, I mean, the United States purported allies like Saudi Arabia and the UAE are basically looking at what the United States is doing, and they're not coming to the rescue the way that Trump is expecting. And I think this is just, Trump is having his mission accomplished moment right now.
Oh, yeah.
With like George Bush on the aircraft carrier. It is insane the way that history just repeats itself. And even someone like Trump, who ran as the purported anti-war candidate, which he never really was. He's a neocon, just like they all are. And he's just he rides the coattails of whatever public sentiment is. So when he criticized the Iraq War, it was only after the fact that it happened. He was just as warmongering as every other neocon freak that this Republican Party nominates. And yeah, it's insane. Rubio as well.
Going there in a short period of time, and we're protecting the world from what these lunatics are trying to do, and very successfully,
Projection.
I might add. We're also waiving certain oil-related sanctions to reduce prices. So we have sanctions on some countries. We're going to take those sanctions off till this straightens out. Then who knows, maybe we won't have to put them on. There'll be so much
Russia,
peace.
which, by the way, has been.
But when the time comes, the U.S. Navy and its partners will
spectacular
escort tankers
defeat
through the
in
strait
our
if needed.
foreign policy
I hope
against
it's not
Russia
gonna be
as well
needed.
as it wages a war in Ukraine. That's what he's talking about when he says like all these other countries that we previously forced sanctions on or told to separate their ties and their energy dependence on Russian oil and gas. They're now retreating on that as
if
well.
they play that game, we're going to hit them at a level that they have not seen before.
Yes.
So we're winning very
After this is over,
decisively.
I'll introduce Oliver.
We're way ahead
once
of
again,
schedule.
Okay.
Our military is the greatest in the world, with the greatest equipment and the greatest people in the world. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Iran's a very powerful country. They were
water
going to
and-
take over the Middle East.
you're
If we
I
did
got
not
my
hit
little
them,
coffee here.
they were going
All
to
right.
take over the Middle East. They had thousands and thousands
Appreciate
since
you.
their last hit. They had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. Most are now destroyed. But they were going to take over the
Boca
Middle East.
Raton, what's up?
Those weapons were aimed at Middle Eastern countries that had nothing to do with this. They were going to take over the Middle East, and they were going to try and destroy Israel. So we stopped it with good timing, and
561.
we're
looks
very
good.
proud to be involved in this, and it's going to be ended soon. And if it starts up again, they'll be hit even harder.
Yeah, he's.
Thank you very
This
much for
is-
being here. Go ahead. Any questions?
Oh shit! Oh, this is the best part. This is a crazy
you
thing to
so
say
much.
when
Do
the
you
other side is
approve
completely.
of Iran's new supreme leader? And secondly, can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin
When
today?
the
What
Iranian
did you
side is like
discuss?
Yes, I had a
operating in
very
a totally
good call
sovereign
with
manner, it is wild to just
Putin.
come out and be like,
A
"Oh,
lot
it's
of
a,
people
it's
on the
a
line
total
from our
victory.
side, from
They're
this
going to pull
side.
back now."
We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And look, there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't seem to get it together. But I think it was a positive call on that subject. And we obviously talked then about the Middle East. And he wants to be helpful. I said, you could be more helpful by getting the
Over
Ukraine-Russia
soon. Well, he
war
said it's
with.
over
That would be
soon.
more
This is what's
helpful.
going on.
But we had a very
in
good
Israel,
talk.
like right now.
And he wants to be very constructive.
Missile
Yeah.
alerts everywhere.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. On Iran, you called it an excursion. You said it would be over soon. Are you thinking this week it will be over? Are
No,
you
but
talking
soon.
about days?
I think soon.
Okay.
Oh no, not this week,
Very
but
soon.
soon.
Look, everything they have is gone, including their leadership. In fact, there are 2 levels of leadership, and even actually, as it turns out, more than that. But 2 levels
They
of
replaced
leadership are gone.
Khomeini with Khomeini.
Most people have never even heard about the leaders that they're talking about. So it's obviously been very
This guy,
very
no one's
powerful,
ever
very
heard of
effective.
him. His
Cuba,
name
you
is
said that Cuba wants
Khamenei,
to make a deal.
but
What would the
younger.
United States get in return for that, and why should Americans trust Marco Rubio to negotiate it?
Well,
Jared
Marco
Moskowitz
Rubio
trusts
is doing a great
Marco
job. I think
Rubio.
he's going to go down as the greatest Secretary of State in
Yeah, get
history.
your licks in, King.
Yeah,
Look at what we've done as
it's crazy. I mean,
a presidency. Look at what we've
don't
done
want
as
to
an
interrupt the
administration.
president.
Yeah,
but
the goat.
They trust Marco.
Yeah,
and
no,
so do
totally.
The American people trust. He's been successful no matter where he's been. He also speaks the language, which is always nice.
Oh,
and
they're
always
talking
helpful.
about the
But he's dealing, and it may be
Operation
a
Reactionary
friendly
Shield in
takeover.
Latin
It may not
America.
be a friendly takeover. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
because
they
they're
trust
really
him. He speaks the
they're
language.
Down to,
That's
as
crazy.
they say, fumes. They have no
helping
energy.
another
They have
narco
no,
dictator in Ecuador,
money. They're
Noboa.
in deep
Yeah.
trouble on a humanitarian basis.
Our South
And,
American policy is so
we don't want to see that. but
fucking
they were
disastrous.
very,
It
very bad
is
to a lot of people, as you know. and a lot of
devastating, and we
people
can't even like
living
focus on it that much
the
because we're
Cuban-American
fucking up
vote,
the
which
Middle
I
East
got
right now.
at record levels.
No, but Rubio's
Very
Rubio,
important.
Graham,
Those
they're
people are
frothing
very
at the mouth
important to
over
me.
Cuba
I know what
Yeah.
they
right
went through.
now.
They went through hell. Some of them have gone on to be some of the most successful people in the country. Cuban-American business
There we
people,
go.
some of them are like the most successful in the country. And a lot of them are friends of mine because I've been fighting this battle with them for a long time. The Castro
fighting
regime
the
was
battle
brutal.
against Cuba.
But they lived off Venezuela. Now they don't live off Venezuela. Sends them no energy, no fuel, no oil, no
Venezuela
money,
sending
no
it to
nothing.
Israel now.
They lived without Venezuela. They couldn't have made it. And we cut them off from everything else. So, yeah, they're going to make either a deal or we'll do it just as easy anyway. Yeah.
Whenever they say,
Please.
like, one of the most devastating words that a sequence of words that you can hear from an American leader, especially this one, is "we're doing a deal with them," because time after time, I mean, they had a phone call with Maduro 8 days prior to the kidnapping, right? And we all know what the negotiations process looked like twice now with Iran. So this, for me, is terrifying because I have a personal stake in this a little bit as well, right? I'm going to Cuba soon, and it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just like one of the cruelest, endless policies that we have.
But that's being investigated right now. Yeah, please.
Thank you. Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it, and how long should Americans be prepared
Well, I think
for
you could
this war
say
to
it
last
both.
for?
It's the beginning. It's the beginning of building a new country.
Oh,
But
we're
they
nation
certainly-
building
they
now.
have no navy, they
yeah,
have no
that worked out
Regime-
so well.
regime
They
change
have
and
no
nation building in Iran.
anti-aircraft equipment. It's all been blown up. They have no
don't-
radar. They have no telecommunications.
This shit pisses me off
And they have
so
no
much 'cause, like,
leadership. It's all gone. So, you know, you could look at that statement.
George W. Bush with a spray
We could
tan.
call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here. I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further.
Oh,
But,
so it's not over.
The big risk on that war has been over for 3 days. We wiped them out in the first 2 days. When you think about it, it's
Gonna go
incredible.
back
We
to this
wiped
real
out a
quick.
big navy, very powerful navy. You know, these were ships. These were serious ships. These were
Literally
ships
none
that you
of their
buy
naval assets,
when you
none
want
of
to
their
win
large
battles.
naval
They're all
assets are relevant in this.
They're all on the
Most of
bottom
the
floor.
naval
The
assets
sailors
they
are all
bombed on the
running off
first
the
day
ships
were
and
already
refused to get
parked on the
ship.
docks. Like they didn't even, they didn't have
The Air
people
Force
in
is
them.
gone. Everything's gone. The missiles are down to a trickle.
The real
Down to a trickle.
the real Iranian
Probably
Navy
25%.
is the go-fast boats that they have.
And they'll
they
soon be
haven't
down to
actually been able
nothing.
to
We'll have
strike those.
where they manufactured the drones are under fire as we speak. They're being hit. So the rest is going to be determination as to my attitude, along with the people in the Trump administration, what we want to do. Thank you. Yeah, please.
Can I ask you, you mentioned you were going to waive certain additional oil waivers or sanctions. Can you talk a little bit more about that and address in particular?
Well,
are you
we're looking to
considering
keep the
measures
oil
like-
prices down. We went artificially up because of this excursion.
Israeli
into
chatter says while he's
a very
talking, we get
positive
sirens
thing. I mean,
over and
this
over
was an
again.
excursion
Fucking
a lot of
liar.
people wouldn't have done. I knew oil prices would go up if I did this, and
No, he's got
they've
this.
gone
Him
up
and Bibi got
probably
this,
less
bro.
than I
Don't
thought
worry.
they'd go up. But I don't think anybody thought we were going to be this quickly successful. This
He said
was
artificially
a
the oil prices
military
went up.
success, the likes of
Artificially.
which
Was it the
people
largest
haven't
oil
seen. We
spike
have the
since
best
2008
military. We
with
have the best equipment.
Lehman Brothers? Yeah.
We have, I believe, the best generals. We have the best. and this went very quickly.
I love when they do this thing where it's like, oh, well, you're not shitting on me. You're shitting on our beautiful generals, actually.
Nobody's ever seen anything quite like
Okay.
it. You know, Iran was a very powerful military country with all of the missiles. Now, you had the double attack. You had the original attack with us and Israel, and that knocked them for a loop. Then you had the B-2 bombers, which took out their nuclear capability, and they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And they would have used it long before this press conference.
They would have had a nuclear weapon 2 weeks to 4 weeks.
And we might have had a much different press conference if we had a press conference.
He's literally Benjamin
at all.
Netanyah's flesh puppet. Like, he is just like saying
amazing.
everything that they've
the
told him in those
military
rooms.
success that we've had is truly unprecedented.
2 to 4 weeks away for 30 years.
Yeah.
You said you've told your congressional colleagues that you will not sign any piece of legislation until the Save America Act is passed. Does that include the confirmation of Senator Mullen as your next DHS secretary? Does that mean a DHS funding bill? And Senator Thune said today it's not a matter of whether or not your Republican colleagues agree with the policy. It's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes. And what we're saying is the Save America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was, the Save America Act, the Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate. We want, very importantly, confirmation that this voter is a citizen of the United States of America. And we want no mail-in ballot scams.
It's a problem that doesn't exist. It's a problem that was purely invented. It's identical in many respects to the whole like immigrants are doing crime narrative. Again, no evidence for this whatsoever. There have been a million different independent and also partisan studies conducted on this issue on whether or not undocumented immigrants are actually voting, or there's like tremendous amounts of voting fraud that's taking place in the United States of America. And time after time, they found no evidence whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, I think the most comprehensive study conducted was by the Heritage Foundation or the American Enterprise Institute, one or the other. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. And they found 1,200 instances of voter fraud. 1,200 instances of voter fraud over 30 fucking years. Okay? And they weren't all Democrats, as a matter of fact. Many of them were actually Republicans. Ironically enough, whenever they do, it was Heritage, thank you. Whenever they do these kinds of studies, these comprehensive studies, what they end up finding is like a lot of the high profile instances of voter fraud are unironically fucking Republicans. And when they're actually arrested for it and asked like, what the fuck were you thinking? They go, this happened in 2016 where a Trump supporter was like, well, I had to do it because the Democrats were doing it. So I had to counteract the Democratic voter fraud by doing voter fraud myself. So like this notion that there is tremendous amounts of voter fraud taking place in this country is so idiotic. It's never existed. And before people say this is Trump, this is classic Trump, no the fuck not. Even Paul Ryan had indicated that voter fraud was taking place in California. This has been an ongoing Republican lie. Even the smart Republicans and the reasonable Republicans have also conducted this lie as well. They've leaned into this lie as well. It's a part of the GOP playbook to justify voter suppression, which is the real problem with elections.
Yeah, I mean, in companion to everything the Supreme Court has done since Shelby County v. Holder in 2013, removing federal pre-clearance, that really has just instigated the past 12, 15 years of complete voter suppression. So it's another classic case of Republican projection, as so many of these things are. They're afraid of the voter fraud, that they're creating their own incentive to have their supporters commit it when it's statistically insignificant on a macro level.
Yeah.
Things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under, we've got them, we're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Do you have to take him out? Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new Supreme Leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran with
Well,
another
I don't want to say that, but I was disappointed because we think it's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I
found the light of Allah. I am Shia now. I say Ya Ali every morning, and they won't ask me for my take.
Someone in mind to be the new Iranian
I've read all the surahs.
Mashallah.
looking for in
Yeah,
that person? Are you looking
he
at
has
someone
found the light of
internal, given
Allah.
that
He
you
has
just
found
said
the
that their
light of
leadership has been
Islam.
I like the
wiped
idea
out?
of, internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I
Kid
think
Rock.
we've proven
I
that
wanted
so
Kid
far.
Rock to run the
In
country.
Venezuela, we have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job.
That hurts my soul.
And it's, no disruption. We had, as you remember, Iraq, where everybody got fired. The military got fired, the police got fired, the politicians got fired. There was nobody. And you know what they turned into? ISIS. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So,
this is the part of
I would
Trump's
like to see people that are inside
messaging that
now
is
they
correct
talk about
too.
the
Like,
son of the Shah.
if there's going to be
They talk
intervention,
about other
Venezuela
people,
is
but,
the better
hasn't
case
been there
scenario.
many,
It's
many
like
years.
tactically much smarter to do what he
We
did in
have a
Venezuela as opposed to
formula
like what
that's been very good
Iraq turned
so
into.
far, and I think
But
it'll
of course,
continue to be
when
good.
you
The
meet an
relationship is
immovable
extraordinary with
object
Venezuela.
like the competent Iranian state, regardless of like the repressive nature and whatnot in their domestic affairs, like it is clearly a very different type of country. All of a sudden, you can't do that. You can't just do like a swift decapitation and then turn around and just be like, all right, we're doing regime change now. We're going to cut a fucking deal, especially when the other party involved is Israel, and Israel doesn't want any regime change whatsoever. Israel wants a failed state. So that's what the issue that he's running into here. If he had the opportunity to pull a Venezuela in Iran, he would have taken it most likely. Not that like the Iranian government was willing and interested in doing some sort of like regime change anyway. But Israel is the real spoiler
Suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only
great
person in
question.
your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say
Oh
that when
my
he was asked,
God.
standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it.
Oh
I
my
think
God, who
it's
the fuck is this
something
guy?
that I was told is under investigation.
It's a ballsy question.
But Tomahawks are
He's about to get
are
tomahawked
used by
himself,
others, as
dude.
you
They're
know.
going to pack him up.
Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report. Yeah, please.
Oh my God, journalists do that all the time. Oh my God, do that all the time,
we've won
please.
in many ways, but we haven't won enough.
A real shame
What
for
do
all
you
the fucking
consider
career
enough?
reporters
What's
that
your
don't ask
baseline?
Where
questions
they're
like
not
that, by
going
the
to
way.
be starting the following day to develop a nuclear weapon, where they'll look at that man and some other people from the administration and say, all right, we're not going to do it. They were not willing to say that. And when Steve called up and he said that to me, I said, well, here we go. Let's do it the hard way. But the hard way, I think, is probably the easy way. When basically I can see that they will no longer have any capacity whatsoever for a very long period of time of developing weaponry that could be used against the United States, Israel, or any of our allies. We have great allies in the Middle East, great countries that are allies. And they were staying out of it until they got hit. Someday they'll have to do a story. Why did he do that? Why did they do that? But they were going to hit them. If I didn't hit them first, they were going to hit our allies first. I believe, upon
It's weird because they
information
weren't
and
doing
belief,
that before
but
they
I
got
believe
bombed.
that he
So
was
it's
going
like very
to.
strange that
They were going to take over
like,
the Middle
even
East. They were looking to take over.
even
the
from
Mid-
like the logic that they're trying to present here, like it is a total and utter fucking defeat because they weren't closing the Strait of Hormuz. They weren't bombing the American bases in the Gulf. They weren't bombing Israel. And they only started doing the worst possible scenario from our perspective after we started bombing them and we engaged in a decapitation
missiles were
strike.
aimed at various countries. And when you look at over 1,000
fucking
missiles
failure.
shot at like UAE, they were looking to take over the Middle East. We got there first. We're lucky. I'll tell you what, the Middle East and those countries, very rich countries, are very lucky that I was president instead of somebody else.
Yeah, this is basically it. The reason Iran is a geopolitical threat is because they could block the Strait of Hormuz
I
and
don't
cripple the
think
world's
so.
economy, something
We
they have
get
never
along
done.
very
So
well
we
on
bombed them
this.
until they did
He
that.
was,
Is literally the
I was saying
fucking
philosophically
is
a
the
little bit
the attitude
different,
from this administration is so
than me.
stupid.
I think he was maybe less enthusiastic about going, but he was quite enthusiastic. But I felt it was something we had to do. I didn't feel we had a choice. If we didn't do it, they would have done it to us. I felt, based on the negotiations that were being had by Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and Marco and Pete and everybody was involved, I felt that they were looking to tap us along before they hit, and I thought they were going to hit. And if they hit us first, that would have been a very bad thing. In the back, please, in the back.
The only countries that do this preemptively are the United States and Israel.
Yeah.
About the Strait, you mean?
It's total violation of all fucking
I want to keep it
previous,
open. I
like,
want to
rules
keep
of
it
conflict
good. You know, it doesn't
international
pertain
human
to
rights.
us so much as it does to China. We're really helping China here and other countries.
With the acid rain
Because
cloud
they get
that
a
is
lot of
blowing over
their
China right now
energy
from bombing
from
the
the
oil
Straits.
depots in
he's
Tehran.
saying because like the Strait of
Hey, look,
Hormuz
we have a good
is,
relationship
like,
with
sending
China. It's
energy
my
to
honor
all of
to
our
do it.
allies
Yeah.
in Asia and China as well. That's what he's like. Oh, we're helping China.
You have
It's like,
called
bro,
him
you broke
an
it. You broke
unacceptable
it.
choice. So does he have a target on his back? And how can you say
I
that-
don't want to say whether or not he does because that would be inappropriate. But hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we
Yeah.
just got them first. But they caught the assassin. They have him now in custody that was after me. So, you know,
Ryan
but, people don't like to mention that, but they did catch him. And I'd like to
He was
congratulate our
Iranian.
military, Secret Service, FBI, all of the people that worked on that, but they did. Yeah, please.
It's not lost on me that every single person that has tried to kill Donald Trump has at some point either been a Trump supporter or directly voted for Donald Trump, including, but not limited to, Ryan fucking Ruth. It's crazy. There was the other Mar-a-Lago guy, the attempted one. Again, another Trump supporter.
Very menacing.
Trump supporters keep trying to kill Trump.
They have an amazing population. It's amazing, smart, brilliant, energetic. They have a great, I'd love to help them, but they have to be in a system that allows them to be helped. And right now they're in a system that only allows failure. And I don't want that. And I want a system that's not going to be attacking us. We want a system that can lead to many years of peace. And if we can't have that, we might as well get it over with right now. Yeah, please.
What does that even
And
mean?
as of
What is
today,
that
there have been
logic?
8 U.S. military fatalities associated with the war in Iran. How many American deaths are you willing to have in this war?
Oh my God.
Well, as I said before,
What is happening to the
when you
media
have
today?
conflicts like this, you always have death. And I was at Dover yesterday. I met the parents, and they were unbelievable people. They were
Look,
unbelievable
I'm not the biggest fan of
people,
Barack
but they all
Obama
had
either.
one
I've been
thing
very
in
critical of
common.
him,
They
but
said
can
to
you
me one
imagine
thing,
Barack
every single
Obama
one.
responding like this? Like,
Finish
what
the
would
job,
be
sir.
the result
Please,
of
finish
Barack
the
Obama being
job.
like, yeah, you know, people die sometimes?
I'll
Yeah,
leave you
no,
at that.
the
Thank you
Fox
very
News
much,
would be
everybody.
Going
Thank you.
completely apeshit.
Oh my God! Speaking of Fox News, okay, did you see the Fox News coverage where he was wearing the hat when they were doing the dignified?
Oh yeah, and
transfer?
they swapped in the. It's total state propaganda.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then they apologized for it after the fact. All right, ladies and gentlemen,